All right, so you're going to be hanging out with some serious crypto folks, and you want to make sure you can keep up with the conversation right. We're diving into Blockworks and their co-founder, Jason Yanowitz. They've built this media company that's not just covering crypto, they're kind of leading the charge.
And they didn't do it by following the usual playbook either.
Yeah.
Which is kind of surprising in a world obsessed with the latest shiny tech.
Yeah, because we're not talking about some small-time blog here. Blockworks is a media empire valued at a cool $135 million. So what's their secret sauce?
It's almost like they rediscovered something we've lost in this digital world, that basic human need to connect. You know, in a world of anonymous profiles and scams, Blockworks figured out early on that trust isn't something you can just download. It had to be earned in person.
Wait, are you saying the key to conquering crypto is throwing awesome parties?
Kinda, yeah. Think low-key happy hours, bringing together developers and investors back when Bitcoin was this niche thing people only talked about online.
Okay, but how do you go from happy hours to a media empire? Most people think of content, right? Like podcasts, newsletters, not exactly canapes and cocktails.
And that's the genius of it. They focused on building a real community first in the real world, creating a shared sense of trust and purpose. That foundation was so important when they did move into content creation because people were already listening.
Like building a house on solid ground instead of on sand.
Exactly. In a world full of scams and anonymity, that human touch, that's what made them stand out. And it's a lesson that goes way beyond crypto, you know. Building real connections will always be a winning strategy.
Which is so important for anyone listening, right? Trying to figure out the crypto space, who to trust, who's the real deal. That's invaluable.
Absolutely. Even in a decentralized world, it's still about human relationships. But building trust is one thing. Building a successful business, that's another story. It sounds like Blockworks almost made a big mistake early on.
Oh, yeah. What did these media masterminds almost mess up?
They fell into a trap a lot of creative people fall into, putting all their energy into building other people's brands instead of their own.
So they were like ghostwriters for the crypto elite.
Yeah, basically. And while they can pay the bills, it doesn't build anything that lasts.
Give a man a fish he eats for a day, right?
Exactly. Blockworks had to learn how to fish for themselves. It wasn't until they shifted their focus to owning their content, to developing their own unique voice, that things really took off.
Which is huge, right? No matter what you're doing. Owning your voice, owning your platform, that's where the power is.
Especially in a space like crypto that's constantly changing. Remember when Jason first got into Bitcoin? It was all about like this. That's where their content strategy gets interesting. They didn't dumb it down. They leveled it up. They brought in these top-notch financial analysts and journalists who can speak both languages, blockchain and Wall Street.
They became the translators everyone needed.
Right. They took these really complicated concepts and made them make sense for institutional investors. But without alienating the OG crypto crowd, they basically became the trusted source in a world that was starving for credibility.
Which, when you think about it, is even more important in an industry full of, like, misinformation and hype.
Absolutely. It's essential. Which brings us to another big part of Blockworks' success. They never wavered on their commitment to journalistic integrity. Remember all those clickbait headlines during the last boom? Like, "This coin will make you rich tomorrow."
Ugh, don't remind me. I think I still have a bunch of those worthless tokens sitting in my digital wallet.
Blockworks got it. They understood that trust, especially in media, comes from nuance, not from screaming from the rooftops. They avoided that whole hype cycle and focused on in-depth analysis and real, thoughtful commentary.
So while everyone else was flipping burgers, they were making gourmet meals.
That's a perfect way to put it. And it's something a lot of traditional media outlets could learn from. Chasing clicks and going viral, that stuff destroys your credibility in the long run. Blockworks, they built a reputation on being consistent and delivering quality.
Slow and steady wins the race.
Right, exactly. They were playing the long game and it paid off. And speaking of playing the long game, there's another part of Jason's story that really struck a chord with me. His resilience.
Yeah, building a business is no walk in the park. But it sounds like he was dealing with more than just the usual startup headaches.
Right. He's talked about having cluster headaches, which, man, those are supposed to be brutal, like really debilitating.
Well, I can't even imagine like trying to build a company worth millions while dealing with that kind of pain.
Yeah, it says a lot about his, his resilience and how much dedication it takes to make it in the crypto world. This isn't a game for people who give up easily.
Okay, so we've covered a lot of ground here. Trust, adaptability, resilience, building a community, delivering real value. What's the takeaway? for the future of media, and for you listening, trying to keep up with it all.
It means content isn't enough anymore. Blockworks figured that out. They're combining content with data and analytics, and it's honestly pretty brilliant.
All right, so break that down for me. How does that actually work?
So imagine this. They pull in a huge audience with all their free stuff, events, podcasts, newsletters.
Correct.
And then some of those people become paying customers because they want that premium data, the market insights.
So they're not just a media company, they're like a data powerhouse.
Exactly. And the best part is they own that relationship with their audience. They're not relying on social media algorithms that could disappear tomorrow.
Which is such a good lesson for anyone trying to build something online these days.
For sure. Own your platform, control your destiny. Which brings us back to something really important about Blockworks. They focused on building something meaningful. They saw this need in the market for trustworthy information, for real connection in this sea of noise, and they delivered.
And in a world that's drowning in information that's more valuable than ever.
It's what sets them apart. Anyone can jump on trends or chase hype, but Blockworks, they built their reputation on integrity and consistency. That's their legacy.
It proves that some things never go out of style. Even in a world that moves as fast as crypto, sometimes slow and steady wins the race.
Absolutely. Integrity, resilience, adaptability, a commitment to real value. That's how you build something that lasts, whether it's in crypto or anything else.
So as you're navigating the crypto world, remember Blockworks. It's not just about the tech, it's about the connections we make, the trust we earn, the value we create.
Oh, and maybe even the parties we throw along the way.
Couldn't have said it better myself. That's it for this deep dive. We'll catch you in the next episode. Until then, keep learning, keep exploring, and keep building.